We're both dreamers.
Well, at least I'm not like that guy passed out the pole, Jonathan. And you were like, you've been that guy.
People are able to find, some sort of reckoning in like situation where they're like, wait, I don't want this for myself anymore. And they made me to come out at 25, living in New York. Like it felt like adolescent round two.
Never save any money.
It can be dark and scary. And, it's just, I just felt like it was just not a good match. And I wasn't as good of a friend as I could have been. I felt
like mother's instinct. You were right on the money and kind of taking life as just like very casual. And I was just looking for the next like trip to Italy or the next.
No one in Italy is obese.
No, you know what I mean?
Like they all look good. They are eating pasta every day. It's like it's the quality of the ingredients, and two, it's the portion. I think in America, everything's like supersized.
I remember a very like important conversation I had with you. Maybe I was struggling, and you're wrong, Jonathan, because probably
the hardest part about life sometimes is like, the direction was veering off of that path that I knew you wanted. So that was what made it hard. So it's part of the reason that you chose to become sober, and I think that's huge. We're both dreamers. Everyone has their own journey.
My best friend in the studio today, he's on a remote location. I think it might be somewhere sunny in, the southern part of California, but this is Mr. Jonathan Ryan Anzaldi.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, you, baby. Yeah. Want to give us a full intro on your titles? You have many titles.
I do. Thank you.
Yes, you do.
I already regret my double wave too. I don't know what that was.
That seemed like something on Bravo.
I am Franco's best friend, one of Franco's best friends. I live in Orange County, California. I am a personal trainer and an accountability coach. So it's January, New Year. I'm very busy right now with all the clients. Everyone wants to work out right now. So it's like I'm saying yes to everyone, knowing that not everyone is going to want to work out in a couple weeks. I mean, I hope they still do.
They will. You are just so motivating. And like even your newsletter, that looks like it's from Men's Health. And like those arms are so jacked. I'm like, this guy is all natural, but you are giving us all a run for the money when it comes to 2026 and we're all trying to get back in the swing of things. You don't look like you stop.
Thank you. I definitely do stop. I feel like it's important to like give your body rest periods, and like December was such a lazy month for me, which I feel like for most people, right? Like coming off the holidays or just going through that season, everyone's like eating a little bit more. Maybe they're going to more parties, seeing more, people. Everyone's more social. So I just felt like I gave myself a little bit of a break. And now that it's, the new year in January, we're hitting the ground running. And I don't know, I love this time of year in particular, because I feel like everyone, fitness and beyond, are just motivated. They have intentions and they want to see through the goal. I love this time of year.
I know. And it's nice because you are literally in Laguna Beach. I mean, what an amazing environment to be not only a personal trainer, but you've kind of reinvented yourself so many times, which you're like my big brother mentor, be always a year ahead of me, just reinventing yourself or creating a successful new identity. And I want to know what keeps you driven every day. Is it money? Is it status? Is it freedom? Do you have a mentor?
I think it's a little bit of all of those things and more. One of the reasons why you and I gravitated towards each other so early on was we're both dreamers. That was something that we realized about each other really early on. We knew the 9-to-5 job grind was not for us. Sitting in front of a computer all day, that's just not me. I know it's not you either. I just knew from an early age that I wanted to do my own thing, wanted to build my own business. And I feel we grew up at the perfect time because we had YouTube available. We had Instagram, we had social media to kind of help build our own brands. And that's a big reason as to why I've been able to stay as a single person business for as long as I have. Constantly promoting, trying to come up with fresh ideas so that people don't get bored with me, but also continuing to provide new offerings for people. I constantly want to challenge myself, be better, give people new opportunities to get to know me and my passions, whether it's my cooking and sharing those recipes, my workouts and sharing those with people, finding ways, the things that you love to do, try to profit off of. That's honestly what I've, for the last 5 years, whenever COVID was. And so far it's worked. That's the advice I would give everyone, is just like, think of what feeds you inside and gives you that, like, I don't know, happy feeling, and try to figure out a way that you can like spread that to as many people as possible.
You're so like perfectly executed. You acted like you might have like done this before, but correct me if I'm wrong, but is this your first podcast?
My first podcast. Wow. Thank you so much. And I was literally, thank you. I was telling everyone today, like, my dog's barking. He's like, what is that? um, it's like, I was telling everyone how like nervous I was, but I actually love podcasts. And like over the last like 2 to 3 years, I feel like I really got into like switching from listening to music all the time and like trying to keep up with like the trends, to like just listening to podcasts, whether they're health related, fitness related, entrepreneurial, whatever it might be, like I just get inspired by listening to other people who like kind of have the same drive that you and I do, in the sense of like wanting to create our own paths. So that's
Yeah.
kind of like a big way that I stay motivated, is podcasts. So I'm very happy to be here.
I'm so happy that you joined the podcast because, like, it is related to your wellness business, nutrition, health, and wellness. You yourself were such a big advocate for me when I was trying to like jump into sobriety movement. We've seen some messy days in New York where we first met, and I'll never forget the best experience in New York out of all the chaos that we've been through was that party that we went to, and we first went in the corner. All these people were like drinking and wild. We probably stayed in the corner for like 3 hours talking to each other.
Yes.
And that was the first night that we like kind of really connected. And I was like, I don't know where this is going as like a bestie. I was married at the time. I think you were kind of like dating somebody, but like, I just always thought of you as like a best friend slash brother slash just like so many things that I'm like, I know you have a lot of people in your life, but I know that you're like top 4 for me.
Wow. I mean, like, right back at you. And I do know exactly the night that you're talking about. I feel like that was very early on in meeting each other. And like thinking about it now, it makes me just like giggle, because like we were at this party with a bunch of people that we didn't know. And like we were sitting at a bar, with a bottle of wine, just talking to each other. And I think at one point we both were crying. So like
we were
it's so
crying.
funny. Yeah, we were crying. That was a big bonding moment. But you know what? It's those moments that build friendships and
I
take you to the next level.
know.
And now look at us like a decade later.
I know. Don't look a day over 25.
Ah, thank you. Botox.
Okay, so I haven't done it yet, and this is probably the first year that I'm kind of toying with the ideas. So I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, I would say you do look younger than me, but I think it's a combination of like you just being happy. I think whether you are going through something or whether you are just having like a little bit of a rocky experience, I think that you and Kim say it best. Fake it till you make it. Wake up and just
Yeah.
fake it till you make it, because you're getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm sure when you first started that, it was not exciting and fun, but you just seem so happy where you're at in your life. And I think you always have been, but I think truly now, like you can see it in your business and your, buying a property, you renovation. Like, I don't know what else to like expect from you, but you definitely always look at the glasses half full. And that's one of my favorite things about you.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Like, I very much am married to someone who, he supports me with every single crazy thing I want to do, but he comes from a much more like realistic perspective, which I need, I feel like you do too, just to kind of bring us back down. But like, I'm such a dreamer, and like, we'll think like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I'll just figure it out. And I feel like if you are passionate enough about something, like you're going to figure out a way to get there. And I just feel like sometimes it won't work out. Sometimes it doesn't happen the way that you think it's going to. But like, one, at least you tried. And two, like, imagine if it works, like how cool is this? When I
Yeah.
started training and doing my own thing 5 years ago, it was like in the middle of quarantine. Like I was like out of a job. I had worked for Equinox for years, and like I didn't know what to do. So I literally just put an ad on Craigslist and was like, yeah, if anyone needs a personal trainer, I know you're probably working out from home. And like that business 5 years ago from one Craigslist ad has turned into like a 6-figure business, which is pretty awesome. And
Oh
like
my
I
God.
do create my own schedule, which I appreciate and allows me the opportunity to go see family or friends or whatever. So even on days when I'm like stressed or like thinking like, oh, I don't want to do this, I'm like, how awesome is it that like the sun is shining and I'm doing what I'm doing and I'm not strapped in like at a desk like I used to be
Yeah.
with you, back in the day and like grinding and just t- punching the computer pretending to work. You know?
You were a godsend because not only, I mean, like, we both have this in common. Like, a lot of people are like, oh my God, Jonathan, you got your master's and like you went to school for like, I don't know, 7 years to get graduate degree. And I went for engineering degree. And it's like, people always say, oh my God, what, isn't it weird that you like wasted all that time and money on like, now you're doing something creative? I would challenge that. That threw us through a lot of intense, challenging experiences. And we tried to go into the corporate environment and we succeeded in a way to get the job and maintain it and make some money. Like I remember you pivoted to Equinox membership advisor role and you were like a top producer in that.
I was just hustling. I mean, that was just sales and like I don't know, when like money is involved and you're responsible for like how much money you can make. I feel like if anything were to like pivot in my career, I would potentially go back to sales because I did really enjoy the grind of that. Maybe not membership sales, but like some sort of sales capacity I could see myself doing in the future. Like am I going to be a personal trainer forever? Probably not, but like still got some good years left and I'm going to continue to hustle. But yeah, I mean, there's something about like every month, like, it sucked being back at zero for your goal, but at the same time, it was just like, all right, how much money can I make this month? I like the
Yeah.
hustle.
Yes, you do. And I think I would always tell people, I'm like, I'm the social sales guy that'll be friends with you when we work together at Equinox, and you're the shark. Like, you will be friendly, but you are stacking and you are not like you're throwing them out if they're not going to buy or they're, in a way that's like professional. But like, I just really admired that about you. And I was like, I just don't know if that's in my DNA. Like I wish it was because I know even with real estate sales, I know I'm sure your husband tells you all the time, George, he's in real estate. He knows how good
Yeah.
you would be.
He does occasionally still try to tell me like, you should do this. I mean, he's so happy with what I've built. And like, by this
Yes.
point, I think he kind of knows like stay in your lane. But like
Right.
when he shifted to real estate at first, he was like, we could be a team and do all this. And I'm like, I don't like it's good to have a little separation of church and state.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, I gotta say, like, I mean, if I could, I would totally pick nutrition and fitness every day, like as a career. Like me and you used to talk about, like, we're like, wouldn't it be awesome if we could like just like get paid to like work out in the gym?
Yeah.
Like it would be so much fun. I mean, I'm sure there are people that get paid to like work out, like actors and models or whatever, but you essentially like you are a product of your what you're selling to clients. So like your job is to maintain that physique if you want to be at the top of your game. And to build a 6-figure freelance personal training business, there's more than just being friends with your clients. There's results. And what
Yeah,
else?
for sure. And health and like, what someone considers to like be in good shape can look so many different ways. Like, let me just say that, like I struggled for so long to like, maintain a good physique. And a big part of that was just like the lifestyle of living in New York and then LA and going out and like being good Monday through Thursday and then like, ruining it on the weekends. So I spent a lot of my 20s like going up and down, up and down. And now I've realized like strength really is more so what you should be going after, especially as you get to like 35 and beyond. Like just being able to like pick things up, squat and press something over your head, and a lot of my clients, they're in their 40s and like their bodies, although they still feel young, they know that like things are changing. There's some sort of switch eventually. And like, I don't want to say that I feel that because I'm trying to deny it as much as I can. But every once in a while, like I'll be sitting on the couch for an extended period of time. I don't know about you. And then I'll stand up and I'm like, oh, like I haven't
Yeah.
felt that before, and so like even to me, who works out all the time and exercises and tries to stay healthy, like it's just aging is inevitable. I think it's just a matter of like incorporating the right things before it's too late. I feel like so many people wait until like they're diagnosed with something, or like the doctor tells them this is what's happening, for them to make like a lifestyle shift. And what I always tell my clients is just like be ahead of that, like
Yeah.
how incredible would it be to just like be setting the bar for what 45 looks like, or whatever it is,
Right.
that's kind of like my motivation. It's not even like, trying to maintain abs at all times, because like, if I don't, then people aren't going to want to work out with my workouts. It's more so just like showing people that like you can still move at 37 the way you did at 27, and like it's just a matter of like staying consistent.
Absolutely. And I think we both can agree that just those weekend warrior New York nights that completely shifted when you moved to LA and I followed you. You
Yeah.
literally moved. And I love this story I tell everybody. It's like if it wasn't for Jonathan and George moving, I don't know if I would have the guts or the balls to book the plane ticket and like make that decision consciously, because you get in the same routine and you get in the rut and something about New York feels like a Peter Pan syndrome effect of living there. Like we see it in
Totally.
Sex in the City, but you and me lived it in our 20s and early 30s.
Yeah, yeah. It was like such an adult playground. And I do think also, as I've gotten older, like for me, I came out a little bit later. I came out at 25. So like my adolescent and college years, while still so fun, and I have so many friends from that era of my life, like I wasn't 100% being authentic to who I was, obviously. So like for me to come out at 25, living in New York, like it felt like adolescent round two. You know what I mean? Like I was
Yes.
just like running around, kid in a candy store. Like you said yes to everything, and like you had the energy to go out until 4 a.m, and then sure, you'll be at work at 8. You know what I mean? Like it's just like wild that I have so many good memories from that part of my life, and made so many interesting relationships during that time. But I mean, at some point, you're going back to what I just said. Your age catches up with you, and you and I were living in LA at the same time, and I remember like being so scared to tell you, like, listen, I think I'm going to move to the suburbs because I can't do this anymore,
I
and like
know.
that's how we ended up in Laguna Beach,
Yeah.
but I mean, yeah, I mean, for different reasons, I think now, especially like we're at an age where like people are maybe having their first kid, or they're married and they are moving to the suburbs. So like there is a lifestyle shift. I hope for the most part for most people around our age, they're not
Yeah.
doing what they did in their mid 20s or whatever. But I would never take that time back. That was the best.
Oh my God. I mean, in some ways, that's why it's like, as much as I preach this like sobriety movement, and I like now I know so many things about like why I do what I do, and I educate, like just a small amount. And I think that's why a lot of people went Cali sober, like, which is in definition, like switched over to THC and took alcohol out of the equation. But like in New York, that was like part of why we could never save any money. Like
Yeah.
we were just, it was bar tabs, it was drinks, it was like, I mean, and in some weird way, it was like, I wouldn't take that time back, but I think I probably would have been better with money if I didn't drink. And then on top of it, I feel like I would be, I don't know, just more successful in the long run. I mean, we had some amazing experiences, but I think we both to fit in, and it's part of socializing and it's part of the New York life. Like a lot of my friends that came to visit, they were like, "So do you guys do anything but brunch and happy hour?"
Totally. I know. It's like I you kind of just like made my mind go somewhere too. And I was just thinking about like when you're in your 20s, like at least for me, living in New York, I saw so many people around me that were making X amount of money or like getting promotions and like slowly climbing up the corporate ladder. And like to me, just saying corporate ladder, like I don't want to be a part of that. You know what I mean? But in my 20s, like I felt this sense of like, why aren't I where they are? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially as I got closer to 30 and stuff and like saw my friends progress in their careers. So I think a big part of like that whole era of me being in New York was like, yeah, like I was part of that like hustle culture, but I didn't know what I was hustling for. Like I was just like doing this job because they told me like, oh, you're going to make X amount and get benefits. I'm like, perfect,
Yeah.
And then like 6 months into it, I'd be like, wait, this is awful. I hate this, like let me try this instead. And I just kept taking jobs that I thought would like help get me to the level that everyone else was. And it was such a like comparison lifestyle that it was so unhealthy for me. And that was a big reason why I left New York, because I was like, all right, this like outwork each other kind of mentality is not for me. I need to be somewhere more relaxed, shifted over to
Yeah.
LA, and like it was just a completely different vibe. There's something so true about just like being able, like the sun constantly
Oh
shining.
my
Like
God, I know.
I was like, is this the Twilight Zone? Like, why is there not a cloud in the sky? I remember when I first moved to LA, I was like, what? But yeah, I don't know. It's just that whole era of our 20s and like even LA, just like taking jobs just because we felt like we had to. Like you and I are so much more meant for what we do now in the sense of like building things from nothing. So
Oh,
I'm so proud of you
absolutely.
for doing this.
Oh, why, thank you. And I mean, you're a big reason. I mean, when we lived in LA and we first went to Memorial Day weekend in Palm Springs, it was like my
Yeah.
first little excursion in like this new city after living on your couch. Um, I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, well, I'm not like that guy. He was passed out at the pool. And like I was just like like talking it through to you. Like I'm like, do I have do I have a drinking thing? Like, am I like a little bit too like wild when I drink? Like, should I like scale it back and all that? And I'm like, well, at least I'm not like that guy passed out the pole, Jonathan. And you were like, you've been that guy. And you didn't say it in like you every time you give me constructive criticism, it's coming from a place of love because you really are not judging. You're not saying it in front of people. You're just saying it like in like a, hey, like I want to hold the mirror to your face. Like I would want you to hold the mirror as well, to be like helping each other out. And I think in some ways, like that was that tricky cycle of like, working in the bars, bartending at Foo Bar and Revolver in West Hollywood. And when you guys moved to Laguna Beach, I really think it would have been a great transition out of that like party lifestyle, because in some ways, like New York City, like Lower East Side where we lived, was very similar to West Hollywood. It's just better weather,
Yeah,
you
definitely better
know?
weather. Harder to say no.
Yeah.
But I mean, going back to what you were just saying, like, yeah, I do remember that conversation of especially the trip to Palm Springs or whatever. Like, you need friends that are gonna like tell you the hard truths. You know what I mean? Every once in a while, sometimes it's like, you let things go or whatever. But I felt like that was a moment. And I felt like I could see you like really asking from your heart, like, is that me? And like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I saw that. I remember it's like a window of opportunity to be like, maybe. And
Yeah.
now look at you, like years later, and you've completely changed. I mean, like it's just crazy to me. I would say like our friendship started, based around socially drinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like so many of our friends that we make in our 20s and like all parts of life, probably 30s and beyond, like you bond over after a couple drinks, and like, you think this person's the best, and you exchange numbers, and you're like, oh, I can't wait to see you again. And then you like maybe never see that person again, you know? But you know what I mean? Like
We have
we've all
so
been
many
there,
contacts in our phone.
but you probably, yeah, you've never seen them again. But like us, I just am so proud of you and like this sobriety journey that, you just celebrated 2 years sober, right? I mean, that's
Yes.
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, and that's so impressive to me. And like the fact that you can still, go to a party, and like, I'm sure the temptation sometimes might still be there, but like, it's like a complete switch from like how you used to be to how you are now. And I can see it in like how you conversate, like maturity level wise, and your skin looks better. I mean, all the things, like there's so many benefits to it.
Oh, it
I
might be
wish I
that Jergens hint of glow that you suggested for me like years
Yeah.
ago. But I do really appreciate that. And I know for a fact, like when I started this podcast, I knew I wanted to dabble into it. And I think in some ways, like, I hate to beat a dead horse and constantly celebrate this milestone 6 months, 6 months, 6 months. But from other friends and family, what it's like to go from like 0 to 100. And I remember a very like important conversation I had with you maybe like 2 months ago before Christmas. I was struggling, and
Yeah.
you're like, well, you could easily, like, I'm sure at this point, like, if you really like wanted a glass of wine, you would be fine. And I was like, yeah, that's where you're right and you're wrong, Jonathan, because yes, in that moment, probably I would be fine with a glass of wine, but then eventually it'll like trickle back into my life. And then we're
Yeah.
talking like a year later, I go to a rooftop open bar or something, and then I just like overindulge, and it just sneaks back into your life. And I know for you, as much as you like to turn up, you are a homebody, and you were the best kind of friend to visit when I needed like a relax. We might have had like, Aperol spritzes on your balcony in Laguna Beach, but you just like, you want to get comfy, you want to get cozy, you want to stay in, and like so
Yes,
many
yes, yes,
times you get it.
yes.
And
Yeah,
so
I
many
do.
times we did that. Like I think we both like were like, we should go out because that's what we're supposed to do. But really, even in New York, I remember your apartment with the balcony. It was like, or the patio. We were like, let's just stay in.
Yeah, with the rats running around our feet. We're like, this is paradise.
The amount of
Um,
money we spent on rent for like rats.
Manhattan, man. I mean, that's what you do. I
I
don't know.
know.
No, I love like I mean I'm such a homebody, and even now like I mean I still will have I'll have like a couple drinks. Like if I look at like a 30, say I look at a month, like I'll probably have like 6 drinks in a month. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we'll go out to dinner maybe and we'll have drinks, but like I don't drink at home anymore. Like I don't feel obligated like when other people are drinking, like say it's like a family barbecue or something, like I don't feel obligated to drink, like whereas I feel like the old me I used to, and I'm like, what am I chasing? Like by like trying to get like an afternoon buzz, like especially in California, you got to drive home.
I
So
know.
like there's that whole component. I think that's also helped slow down my drinking. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, you were the first friend that kind of came forward and voiced your sobriety journey, and you didn't know how long it was going to be or whatever. And I didn't know either. Like I was fully supportive of it, and I felt like maybe it was the right move for you at the time. But like to be 2 years later, I think that's awesome. And like I've had substance abuse experiences within my own family with family members, and it can be dark and scary, and it's just eventually I think hopefully people are able to find some sort of reckoning and like situation where they're like, wait, I don't want this for myself anymore, and they make the change.
Yeah.
uh, so yeah, hats
Well,
off to you.
well, thank you. And I mean, I know that it's kind of one of those things that we both share where it's like you had people in your family, and then I had people in my family. Now, with your situation, like they were financially stable. I always looked at the people on my family like that had a problem with alcohol or a problem with like addiction. They were never really like successful. So I
Mhm.
always, even from an early age, like, I took moments of like dry January that moved into March. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, oh my God, I wish I could stick with this because I'm getting so much more accomplished and I have a six pack. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I'm like, why am I doing these things? But it's just this secret thing that we glamorize and it's like highly marketed. I mean, like every celebrity has like a tequila bottle brand or, like everybody has some kind of incentive, whether it's the restaurant industry, the bar industry. I mean, yourself, like you created Nana's during COVID. Now, you guys didn't have a liquor license or anything, but yourself when you were going to put that brick and mortar, like the alcohol part of a restaurant would be a way to increase your profit margin.
Definitely. Yes. Yeah. It just wasn't even like part of our business model though. Like
Yeah.
the Equinox closed in March of 2020 and then like I had no job. And like I cooking is like my other passion besides fitness. And I had been at that point sharing recipes on my blog and on Instagram for years. And it was George's brother-in-law actually who was like, have you ever heard of this ghost kitchen or whatever? He sends me this link. So we ended up renting a space, and if you remember, like we were able to do that through a Kickstarter. So we literally launched a Kickstarter campaign, which like I had seen on maybe like Good Morning America or something. Like I didn't even know what
Yeah.
a Kickstarter was really. I just knew it was like crowdfunding essentially. And we promoted the Kickstarter and we were able to launch Nana's, which was, all of my recipes that I've been working on for years, and I was able to share them with people. And it was honestly like, one of the coolest experiences of my life, because it's one thing to like have you and your partner over for dinner and like cook for people you love, but for like random strangers to like be one paying for your food, but two enjoying your food, like that was like, all right, this is pretty awesome, you know what I
Oh my
mean?
God. Yeah.
um yeah, at some point I feel like, I don't know, I got to do a cookbook or something.
Absolutely. And honestly, like these food that I tried, and like I'm not a foodie, but like I'm all about healthy. You were able to combine the two. And I'm sure that wasn't like super cost effective, but you were all about the quality. And for the
Yeah,
most part, I know that you're about flavoring and making sure that like you're not going to leave anything out that is like, maybe it's a little naughty, like maybe it's like a little bit of breadcrumbs or maybe it's a little bit of butter,
by the
but
way.
like overall, you are Italian and
Yeah.
you know how to do the like, I mean, that's what makes you such an amazing like trainer and like fitness advocate for your clients, because you're not only teaching them how to like form and like what training, resistance training and cardio, you're implementing the nutritional aspects.
Yeah, and that was like, that's a huge part, and I think the biggest shock to a lot of the people. So I do accountability coaching, which like I will monitor my clients' daily food intake, and based on their height, their weight, their age, what their physical goals are, we come up with a food plan. Like, what are you going to eat? What can't you eat? What should you modify? And I'll never tell someone like, you can never eat that again. Like if you like love to go out and, I don't know, have buffalo chicken tenders and like French fries on Friday nights, like do that. You know what I mean? But like the rest of the week needs to look this way, And my grandmother, she was Sicilian, and like she was one who taught me how to cook everything. And I used to go to her house on Saturdays because my mom and dad both would have to work. And so like I would watch her cook. Everything was so good. Her friends would always come over and like eat, like old school Italian, and they would play cards, and then she would, make them cake. And like it was just like this whole like day thing. And I was just like, God, like eventually I hope to be at a place in my life where I can just like do that on like Saturdays too, invite your friends over, everyone's sitting around the table, enjoying the food, conversation. That's the good life right there. So when it comes to the accountability and people are like, oh, okay, I need to eat like carrots and steamed broccoli and boiled chicken. And I'm like, no, like that's never going to sustain you for like life. You know what I mean? Like, let me just teach you ways to like make things lighter, and you'll be able to maintain enjoying the foods you like without like making this hard switch, because very few people can cut something out cold turkey and stay with it. You know what I mean? Obviously, choosing to be sober is the hardest thing you can do, but think of like someone trying to quit cigarettes or whatever it might be, like just quitting cold turkey is really hard. So I try not to teach any of my accountability clients that. I'm like, let's see what you like to eat and then figure out a way that we can like modify this and make the foods work for you, So that's what I try to do.
Absolutely. And you even like kind of got me into these like, I don't know if it was like sweet, like you have a sweet tooth. So it's like the
Yeah.
overnight oats, like putting protein
Yeah.
in that and like peanut butter and like adding some berries and like just having that like kind of curbs my sweet tooth. And I don't feel guilty having that over maybe a traditional dessert. I mean, have the dessert once in a while, like the cheesecake or whatever, key lime pie or whatever you like. But
Absolutely.
the overnight oats, you got me like really into them. And that's what we do like every day, me and Michael
And
Rose.
I mean, overnight oats, I'm obsessed. That's like my like nighttime snack. I'll have that or like a yogurt bowl because I too like have a sweet tooth at the end of the day. But
Yeah.
like, I think, because, I do have like an Italian background, just like eating so much pasta and stuff like that. Like I could never give up that. You know what I mean? Like it makes me
Yeah.
happy. It's comforting. And
Right.
most people enjoy like pizza or pasta or something like that. So like my biggest piece of advice would be like, if you're going for a pasta, like look for high quality, imported pasta from Italy, because if you go over to Europe, no one in Italy is obese. You know what I mean?
No.
Like they all look good. They are eating pasta every day. It's like one, it's the quality of the ingredients, and two, it's the portion. I think in
Yeah.
America, everything's like supersize it, and like, we don't need to. Like it's like chill, like you go to the movies, and like a soda the size of your head. It's like, what is that?
It's weird. And I know that we can talk about it in nauseum and people will be like, oh, well, it's easy for you guys to say. But like in some ways, like we have struggled in other areas of our life, like coming out later in life and, maybe, just like even trying to figure out our career and stuff. And I'm listening to a lot of podcasts because you've got me inspired, like Creatures of Habit and Diaries of a CEO. And one thing in common that I'm listening to a lot of these people that are talking about how to have a successful life or how to be financially independent, a lot of them start bringing up every time. I swear it's about going to the gym and making that a regular and eating healthy and making that like a regular, like daily routine or weekly
Yeah.
routine. And the thing that makes me so excited, Jonathan, is like, okay, we figured that out years ago. We still practice it. And so now it's just like we're enjoying the journey of creating these businesses and brands that really inspire us to just like, continue going for it. Like I will say, I don't think it's just, going to the gym and work eating healthy. I think it's just that's taking it off your plate so you can be more productive and you can be able to really like feel confident and secure in your own skin. And like you said, like why be reactive at, a certain age and then have to fix it? I just think like
Yeah.
you're kind of we got that in the checkbox. So I'm really happy about that. But if anybody can inspire anyone, it's definitely you. I know that you talk to, I've heard a lot of your conversations over the years with your other friends. They all call you. Is it exhausting to be everybody's life coach, therapist, and not be paid for it, especially when it's your friends and family?
No, definitely not. And I don't look at myself that way at all. I've just always been, you've always said like, oh, you have so many friends. Like I don't know whether it's just part of getting older or what, but like, I don't know. I look at it and I just feel like I have like quality friendships at this point, like most of my friends at this point, if I look and like was to like have like, I always say like the Golden Globes table, because you have like 8 or 7 other seats that you can fill. You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking like, who would be at that table right now? You know what I mean? And it's just like, these people have all been in my life for like 10, 15 plus years. And I'm so lucky. It's just like, you just need to invest the time. I think like I was listening to a podcast the other day and they were saying like, if you want to see the quality of your friendships, like either stop answering or stop calling them and see if they call you, or move away, and like if you move away, obviously like you don't have the convenience of like, let's get lunch, so like those invitations slowly stop, and then it's like, do you have anything else to like conversate about, if you stop calling them, and putting in the effort, are they going to put in the effort, like seeing certain dynamics of friendships as you get older, making sure that you're like getting what you return. And I feel like as we get older, like we have less and less time, whether it's because of work or family or whatever. So like your time for like peace and like, being alone or with your partner and just relaxing is feels more minimal and like cherished. You know what I mean? So like taking time away from that to like invest in relationships that matter at this point to me are like what's most important.
Yeah, and I think you know yourself, like you do not really want to like I think you talked about a friend of yours that we all worked at Equinox. You guys joked about it like from what I think it was 2018. You're like, I think you were my last friend I made, like true
Yes.
friend.
Yeah, for real. Like, I mean, yeah, I've like met other people, then like, yeah, I have like friends that I have made along the way for sure. But like this person, Molly,
Shout out to Molly.
yeah, shout out to Molly. Like I just feel like Molly will be sitting at the front row of my funeral. You know what I mean? Like
I know.
she's just a ride or die. And I have always been that way as well. I don't know whether I watched too much Jersey Housewives growing up, but like I am a ride or die friend.
You
And
are.
like even if I know you're wrong about something, I will back you up in front of everyone and then pull you outside and tell you you're wrong. You know what I mean?
I
Like, but I'm
know.
not going to make you look bad in front of everyone. Like, I have your back. And I don't know, I think that's really important. But yeah, I mean, it's just part of getting older. It's like, don't you think it's like harder to make friends in your 30s? I don't know why.
I know. Well, I mean, it's because we kind of are exhausted or we're focused on work or we're so involved like in this relationship that is now like almost like you've been married how many years?
4 years.
Oh my God. Best wedding by far. And I'm not just biased, you're my bestie, but like it was iconic in Laguna Beach. What part of Laguna was it?
Well, the wedding itself was in San Juan Capistrano, which is a
Yes.
neighboring town to Laguna. Yeah.
I mean, it
Yeah.
was magical from the
Thank you.
and I will say I was like not sure because you had so many friends and family. I was like at first I was like, I really hope that I'm in the wedding. I really hope that I'm in the wedding. And I don't
And
know
you were.
why. Like I don't even like I it wasn't like you care because it's like that's a big deal. You're like, okay, I gotta go bachelor party and I gotta get like a tuxedo, whatever, blah blah blah. But I think it's because like I was just like I know that you're just going to go all out and you're going to be so appreciative. You're going to make this such a fun experience. And I think you are like a ride or die to me. Like I was even, just thinking and reminiscing. I'm like, the person I was with like 5 years ago, I would have been like, see ya, Franco, like, peace. Like, just because it wasn't a good fit. It was toxic. It's part of the reason I got sober. And I'm not blaming anybody. I am an adult. I, make my own decisions. But I know that was hard for you. And I think you kind of mentioned to me recently that you felt bad. Like we kind of had a heart to heart when I came to visit you in July of last year. You were like, I'm really sorry that I wasn't there for you during that time. I just had to stay away because it wasn't healthy for you because you just didn't align with the person that I was with.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would say that's probably the hardest part about, for like life sometimes is like you sometimes watch your friends or, siblings or family members, whatever, like choose maybe a partner that you wouldn't have chosen for them. And
Right.
it's not a matter of you thinking that better than they do what they like or whatever.
And it's not
I
even
think early
petty
on,
either. It's not coming from like a petty place like, oh, I just don't like them. It's not like that.
no, no, no. I just saw a different version of, in your example, a different version of you that I felt like was, a little messier than it
Yes.
was before, and
Yeah.
it was off of the path that I felt like you knew you wanted for yourself. And like we had talked about for so many years of like back in the day, what we wanted and like things we wanted to do, business wise. And I felt like, there was choices or like just like the direction was veering off of that path that I knew you wanted, so that was what made it hard.
Yeah.
I think I was vocal, but I was also respectful.
You were.
But I at the end of the day, you know just wanted you to be happy, and I trusted that like your happiness was more important than like how I felt about X individual. And I think that goes across the board. I mean, obviously if there's like something that's harming that person that you love, then you should intervene and step in, of course. But like there wasn't anything to that point. It was just, I just felt like it was just not a good match and whatever. So I did feel bad, in retrospect after you left that relationship, because I felt like I kind of, I wasn't as good of a friend as I could have been. I felt like I was still a good friend, but I was like, separate from the situation for a long time. And that was hard. But like, now, as you just said, that relationship was part of the reason that you chose to become sober, and I think that's huge, and now you're doing so many amazing things, and, you're happy. So everyone has their own journey.
Well, I mean, like mother's instinct, you are like a mother slash father to me. You were right on the money. And, I went through a rough ride and like didn't really want to like vocalize it, but like, it led to like problems with the law, and like it led to like, kind of like taking work like as like, oh, it's just optional. Like, and I didn't like focus on acting. I didn't focus on like my position at the design firm. Like I was just kind of taking life as just like very casual, and I was just looking for the next like trip to Italy or the next like, trip around the world. And like I remember talking to like Pooja about this. I was like, I just love going out to nice restaurants. And
Yeah.
she was like, what? Like that's what you look forward to? Like that's
Yeah.
sad, Franco. Like that's you now? Like you're that bitch? Like it was so like it was like this weird like I was going to Vegas all the time and like getting massages and like facials and like but not going to LA. Like you said when I left, you're like I wish you would have experienced LA single.
Yes, with little distraction, because I think so many people move to LA, you included, with like an intention or dream in mind, and I think that maybe detoured you from the dream a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, listen, I love Vegas too. I love massages too. I love nice restaurants as well. But if that's, yeah, I mean, if that's holding you back, I mean, I think now though you're in such a better place, better
Oh my God.
relationships.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like I do really have to like owe it to like just sobriety, real estate, Jonathan, Kelly, my parents. Like I really do owe it to the like the support team that surrounded me. And then also like, real estate, I was like, when you say six-figure business, I was like, I didn't even think that was possible. Like I remember getting six-figure offers, but like they were engineering jobs that I wanted to like,
Yeah, exactly.
like
Yeah, yeah,
I was like I tried that and I was so miserable, and you and me know it's in our DNA, and I know that like we got to wrap this up really quick, but like I think it's just one of those things that I always look up to you. I'm so glad that you wanted to come on the podcast today. I'm so glad that you've always supported me, but I really want to like, return the favor to you. And I want to, surprise you with a little gift. I'll send it to you. I have it coming your way, but I think the thing is we'll have to add the clip in after the fact. But, and then this is actually the first mocktail I ever had, and it was at your place, Cinco de Mayo, 2024. You were so sweet. You ordered Little
yeah.
Saints for me
Mhm.
for
Yes, I
Cinco de Mayo.
remember.
So thank you, Jonathan. In honor of Jonathan, fully just being that friend, being that bitch, that ride or die that shows up with the bottle of non-alcoholic botanical spirits. Thank you for just always being there for me. And I love you like a brother.
Love you too. I'm so happy to do this. I think this is the coolest thing, and I hope it continues to grow. And I also just want to say, I was thinking about this going into it because I'm like, it's January. I'm going to be talking about like training and everything. So I made a promo code and it's mocktails, all capital mocktails. I'm doing an 8-week strength training program. And you can sign up on my website. So if you use the code mocktails, you'll get $100 off. So
Oh my
that's just for your
God.
listeners. Yeah, I figure, spread the love, get people in shape in 2026.
Oh my
And
God.
yeah, love
Thank
you.
you, Jonathan. I love you. Thank you. And that promo code is mocktails. And what website do we go to?
That Salu, SALU life.com. Yeah, that salulife.com. So it's that, like the word, THAT, Salu, SALU life, the word.com. And the promo code is mocktails, all capitals. It will give you $100 off an 8-week strength training program. So you could do these workouts from anywhere. You just dumbbells, body weight, and you'll get it done.
Yeah, let's get it done. 2026. That's Salute Life. This is Jonathan Ryan Anzaldi. He is my best buddy, but more than that, he's a mentor and a personal trainer, nutrition coach, all the things. And I'm so excited to see you in Laguna Beach very soon. I see a time that we're going to come and enjoy the sun with you and George. And thank you so much for doing this. And congratulations on George's 2025 year. He sold 85 million, and that was amazing for real estate.
He did crush it.
That's
Yes.
amazing. And I'm sure he's going to spoil you with maybe another trip to Europe.
I hope so.
I mean, you're a career woman, or you're a career man yourself. You could take care of that this time. But thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah. Can I just say too, I used to always think like, God, I just want to, work. I mean, I just want to like be at home and just like make food and just like watch my daytime soaps. But now that I'm like in the hustle and grind and like created what I've created, I'm like, I could never do that.
No.
Not that that's anything's wrong with that, but like, I don't know. There's just something about like making money and hustling and like, it's just so much better.
Well, and
so
it's
if
also
I'm going to Europe, I'm going to pay for Europe myself.
Yes, exactly. And you know what? On top of it, it's your baby you've created. And so there is something to be said about that, especially because like we both, don't have children. So in some ways, like when you do have a child, you're almost like using your business to be like, putting towards the new, taking care of the private school or whatever. It shifts in a lot of ways. But I know that you got to run. Where are you heading right now?
I have my afternoon people. So
Okay.
I have a break for like lunch hour, and then I go and do my afternoon.
All right.
So yes, I do have to run. But I feel like this is every phone call we're on. We're like say goodbye 7 times. So.
Yes, we do. We do that a lot. And I mean, probably more than you, but you're really good about just like wrapping it up sometimes quick because I won't.
I gotta go. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Thank you.
All right. Love you. Have a great day.
Love you. Bye.
Ciao.